Hey guys, and welcome to another First Impressions video. Today we're looking at Anyway, which is a side-scrolling platformer that looks like it's been hand-drawn. It's a very, very cute art style. The game is fairly challenging, but as always we will look at the settings first and then we'll jump into the game. One thing I will make a note of before we get into this is it actually defaulted to German and I had to kind of fumble my way around to get it back to English, and outside of that, the accessibility options, there really aren't that many languages to choose from. It would be nice if they were to make it so that it would start in your default language from Steam, or if it would just have more options available. But let's get into the settings and see what's available, and then we'll jump into the actual game itself. Okay, so first thing you're going to notice is there is no graphics settings here. Now, whilst I can kind of understand that, being able to at least change your resolution, maybe set an FPS limit, and just giving you some options would be really nice. Now, this is a very small game. It's not very graphically intensive, so whilst you might argue that it doesn't really need it, there are still people out there that use different monitors than just 1080p, so giving us those graphic options would be really nice. That being said, the options that we have a fairly comprehensive sound menu, and I must say that the soundtrack on this game is very, very quaint and cute, and I found it very relaxing to listen to. Languages. You only get 4. This is something that I said in the intro. It needs more, and it does default to German, which is all very well and good if you are German. I am not. And the language sort of issues kind of continue on in the controls. Jump is Leer, dash is tabulator, and ferry is R. I don't know why they've gone with Leer and tabulator. I don't know if that is a mix-up in translation. There are also more things that you are able to do as you go along. But it doesn't give you that straight off the bat, so it is worth bearing in mind that you're going to be starting very much at a disadvantage. And that is really all there is to the options menu. It could do with a few more things adding on, but again, this is a very simplistic sort of 2D type game that looks really pretty. Let's jump into and see what the gameplay is like, shall we? Okay, so saving. I'm not entirely sure how the saving works. I played a little bit of this before, came out of it, hit continue, and it started me at the very beginning. There is a story to this, but I don't quite understand what that story is. It doesn't really explain anything. It kind of starts with a storyboard. I feel that this game would work really well with the controller as well. I feel like a lot of the platforming jumping would be quite easy with a keyboard, maybe. Not a keyboard, sorry, a controller. It works okay with a keyboard, but I feel like the jumping is a bit janky because you've only got WASD to work with. I don't know whether they're planning on adding any of that later on, but this is basically the game. It's very simple. You walk around, you jump up, you collect the fruit or the acorns or whatever they are. I don't quite know why you collect those yet. It doesn't really tell you. And you were informed early on that you are unable to wall jump, dash, or crouch even. And these are things that you are going to have to unlock as you go along. So it immediately gives you the feeling that you're going to have to come back and do sort of levels again, because there are areas that you simply can't get to. I cannot jump that high yet. I would need a double jump or a wall jump or something. But you know, as a gamer, you kind of figure out, well, these things, it's got a number, I'm supposed to collect them. There is no fall damage as such, but if you fall down to an area where you cannot get to, or that is kind of signified by thorns, as you're about to see in a minute, you will take damage. And you only get 3 hits before you KO. It does this weird thing as well where you kind of get trapped on edges, which is a bit weird. And it can make it a bit awkward and a bit difficult to get through certain areas. But it is very cute. I like the art style. I think it looks really, really good. I think they could maybe make it a bit more clear about what is good to hit and what is bad to hit. It kind of blends in a lot. Also, a colorblind mode probably wouldn't be a bad idea. Sometimes, like, or not even a colorblind mode, but maybe adding it so that the thorns or the bad areas are a bit clearly or a bit more clearly labeled. Because I don't know if certain areas I can hit and certain areas I can't. There is a bit of a risk-reward thing with this game going on as well. Like, you can take the risk of going down to get these areas, but if you hit, say, here, that will cause you to take damage. And it doesn't, again, it doesn't really make it very clear because it looks like it's in the background, not exactly in the foreground like it is with the trees that you can actually stand on. You do jump quite far, though, which is kind of cool. I do like the fact that you are able to jump really very far for such a small sort of teddy bear option. Again, it does give the implication that you can come back and do some of this later with wall jumps and double jumps, so you can choose to go on and just go past there and move on, or you can go down and try and get all the different acorns or fruits or whatever they are. There are many different areas that you can get to within each level. So I could go here and end up somewhere else, or I can try and jump and see where else I can end up. So there's lots to explore, which is kind of cool, and I'm a big fan of that. It leads itself to non-linear gameplay, and I am a big fan of non-linear gameplay. I like the fact that the game doesn't hold your hand in that regard and just lets you kind of go and explore and see what you can find and see all the different fruits and stuff that you can come across. I am a big fan of that. It's very simple to play, but very hard to master. And the puzzles seem like they've been fairly well thought out. If you do end up getting stuck, you can use your fairies, which I think I'm going to have to do here because I can't get out of that. So yeah, like, I'm a fan. I think it's really simple and very well executed. There are a few other options that they could afford to add, maybe, just to make it a bit more accessible to people and certainly make it more accessible to different systems. But on the whole, it does what it sets out to do. It's a fairly challenging platformer. I'm not sure I'm a fan of it not giving you the ability to wall dash and stuff. It feels like it's arbitrarily extending the gameplay from what it would otherwise be. But that's very much a me problem that I have. I would much rather have all of the tools to be able to just collect everything in the level in one go. But overall, I am a fan of this game. This is Anyway, and it came out on Steam a couple of days ago. Feel free to let me know in those comments down below what you think, and thank you very much for watching, guys. I shall see you all next time. Ciao, ciao.